All right, welcome back to episode 3 of the Charles III podcast. We are joined with the one and only Brad Harbison.
Hello there.
He's the one that I was speaking on in my last episode, the one who, gave me this awesome camera for my birthday and then the lens on another birthday. And overall was one of the moving parts in funding the podcast equipment, which we wouldn't have some of this equipment without him.
Well,
and the other
we
boys
can,
do.
We can say that it was a group effort for some of the equipment because we all pooled our money together, and then what is this thing called again?
The audio interface?
The audio interface. Thank you.
Yeah, this one's mine. I switched to it because it's way more reliable than the
Plus, you only
ginormous one.
need 2 inputs and outputs, so it works just for us.
Exactly, and it's way easier to set up, as you can see. It's just smaller and
Smaller, more compact, and it was just plug and play.
exactly. So, how did you elaborate on what you were saying to me through text when I read it out loud about what it made you feel?
Oh, well, you were talking about in the first episode, finding personal freedom and then just taking that leap. It's almost like a leap of faith, but as long as you take that first step towards whatever you're trying to go towards, you're going to be way better off. Even if you fail, you're still taking a step forward because you can fail, get back up, and keep going. And it made me realize, because I deal with a lot of anxiety. You even spoke about it. It's really hard to push through your anxiety because your worst enemy is always yourself. And you hear this a lot. It's a cliche, but it is true for the majority of people. I'm sure there's certain cases where that's not true. But it made me realize I really have to hunker down and just do something. Because I've been in this weird state lately where it's wake up, go to work, come home, play video games for an hour or two, go to sleep, wake up, come home, play video games for an hour or two. And it's been so monotonous.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been going crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
So it really hearing that, especially from my best friend, kind of it sparked inspiration. Like you're my number one person in the world, right?
I appreciate that.
So when you talk about you got fed up and you got tired and you were just like, I need to do this, and then you went and did it. I need to be in that same wavelength of just, okay, this is it. If I just do one thing, then I'm a step closer. And then when I'm done with that, I do another thing, and now I'm a step closer. But I just have to do it. So it really sparked that inspiration of, I've always wanted to do this, start a YouTube channel, and I tried in the past, and I gave up. And I've been watching a lot of motivational videos because I listen to you. And the one thing that sticks to me is you don't lose if you don't quit. You only lose if you quit. So you can fail, get knocked down, and as long as you get back up, you've won.
Yeah, it isn't over till I win.
Right.
Like
it
you
isn't
said,
over until you win.
literally, if you don't quit, you didn't lose yet. It ain't over till it's over, like Lenny Kravitz said.
You can lose without losing because you can always get back up and try again.
It's a battle that you've lost in the war, right?
That's true. You can lose the fight, but that doesn't mean you lost the war.
Exactly. So as long as you don't quit, you didn't lose the war. Because remember, we think success is like a linear path, just straight up, but in reality, it's like our Dogecoin. it keeps going up and down and up and down, and then obviously that's anything. That's any stock. That's any success story. That's anything. It's
For your financial gurus out there, welcome to the roller coaster.
exactly. But it's never a linear path, and it was what I was saying, I think in the last episode about where would you be right now if you would have started when you first had the thought and never stopped? Kind of like
Not here. I
Yeah.
can tell you that.
yeah, not
Well,
here.
Maybe in the physically in this place.
Maybe not though.
That's true. Maybe
What
not.
if you made it big 5 years ago and you were off fucking in another state doing
Could be
whatever.
another state. I could still be.
Oh, you'd have your own
basement
house.
dwelling at my parents. I could have gotten my own place,
If you were wildly successful though from not stopping,
or I could have actually been here, but it could have been without you because my sister came to me about getting this place from her.
exactly, you just never know.
Right. So many things could change because I decided to do one thing that I'm not currently doing.
But I say the way I see it though, like how everything lines up for a reason, like divine timing and everything. It's like, well, maybe all that happened for that reason because like now we both have a place to live, and it's like I was fucked like before moving in
that
here.
was not a great situation to be in.
I was genuinely fucked. Like if you weren't alive, like if you didn't exist in my life, like I would be fucked right now. It's only because of you that I actually have a place to live, that I'm not financially fucked.
Right. You wouldn't be financially in the red every month.
Yeah, or like just absolutely not having time to do anything.
You'd be house poor.
Yeah. To say that it'd be a 1-bedroom apartment poor. It'd be like you literally I don't even have anything much to show for it and I'm just fucked. But I'm glad that this all happened though. Like I think it's all divine timing, and like you said, like as long as you just make the first step. I mean, as you can see, like this setup. Remember I was talking about getting caught up in the details?
Right.
Who gives a shit? Like
Well,
just do it. Nobody's gonna watch a good quality piece of content and be like, look at that fucking background, bro. Fuck this guy. You know what I mean? Like your bedroom, they're not
Yeah.
watching for your bedroom. They're not watching for the set. You know what I mean? Because
No.
the ones that I'm watching right now, they do it wherever they're at. And that's the most important part. If anything, the set had this idea of having this like beautiful set is cool and everything. But that to me takes away from like the flavor of it all. Considering like I want to turn this into a traveling podcast eventually.
Yeah, you were talking about getting some kind of vehicle like a van or a
Yeah.
transit maybe.
Yeah.
And then setting it up to do what you need to and then just go.
Yeah, like I would obviously it would be completely ideal to have some kind of partner in it. You know what I'm saying? Like whether that's you or
I
a
mean,
significant other, or like
if I'm doing YouTube, I don't have to just be sitting in one place doing it at the same place every day. As long as it's like what you said before, as long as you have like Wi-Fi, because you were talking about Starlink
yeah,
with Elon Musk.
yeah,
As long as you have internet access, technically you can do any kind of remote job or hobby or entertainment
anything,
anywhere. You
anything,
just
anywhere.
need a connection to the Wi-Fi, because they also have the satellite Wi-Fi now too, besides Starlink.
Really?
Yeah,
Is-
my parents were talking to me about it, about their house up north. They have the option to get satellite
Mm.
television, so I don't see why they couldn't do satellite internet unless that's
Oh,
completely
I think it's completely
separate.
different. I think it's completely different because DirecTV. Remember when that was the thing?
Well,
I don't know if it
isn't
still is.
DirecTV Dish.
Satellite dish. That's what it is.
So
That's
we
why
just
if-
have to have a van with a dish going.
Honestly, I think it can be inside, but yeah, why not? But dude, remember I was talking about how when you look at the Starlink map, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan is fully provided for, but like that's it, like nothing in the Lower Peninsula.
That
And-
seems so weird to me because it's like northern Michigan is a lot more remote and rural.
That's the point, though. I think that's why.
So he's getting it to the people he thinks need it most, and then gonna cover the rest of the world.
I think that's kind of the whole point of it. But did you hear that ripple?
Yes.
Okay, that's probably my fucking cord. If it happens terribly again, I will run and switch out the XLR cable. But that's besides the point.
Sorry to hurt anybody's ears out there.
Was that loud?
No, not
okay,
really.
okay.
But you know how some people have really sensitive ears.
Yeah, the headphone users, warning to them. So anyways, so the guy that I've been watching, I keep bringing him up every podcast, but like he really is the source of my inspiration because I was like, dude, this guy he's my age. He's 24. And I was like, he's really out here doing this, so I can do it too. Like human beings, like we're really no different. Like if I can do something, dude, especially me, like if I could get in shape and get a six pack, anybody can. Like where I came from.
Yeah, I
That's-
mean that's true. At one point, weren't you bigger than me, or we were always roughly the same?
Probably the
and
same
then you started
size.
losing weight because you started going to
Yeah.
the gym and working out and eating better.
I think you were technically like heavier than me because you were like taller than me for the longest time.
Yeah, but if we're talking about like the ratio body mass to
Yeah,
height,
like probably body fat percentage wise. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, we were probably around the same at some point. But like,
and then I got fatter and you got buff.
but now for especially the YouTube viewers, they see he's not fat anymore. he lost so much weight. He did such a good job.
Yeah, I'm actually down 100 pounds now.
Damn.
Because I started off at like, I think it was 283 or 287. So I'll just say I started at 283. I just weighed in at 279 or 179.
Really?
Yeah.
You're lighter than me now.
Let's go.
You're lighter than me. That's crazy.
That's what happens when you just stop eating.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not, preference this with not a great idea. Don't just eat so little that you lose weight, but eat the right way. I did this because it's what worked for me. Doesn't mean it's going to work for everyone, and it's definitely not healthy.
yeah, exactly. But anyways, to not get off topic too much, I have never been to the Upper Peninsula. Have you?
No, I've only been to like Upper Michigan, but not UP.
Yeah. Have you ever been to like Mackinac?
No, but I've been wanting to go. They do hold some like festivals there, and there was this car meet that I asked my mom to go, but she ended up not being able to because other stuff came up.
Well, that's the thing is like Mackinac Island. I want to go there badly, but that's just an example, right? So if I had a van,
I want Mackinac fudge.
I think it's only like 4 hours away or something. Technically from us, like in Michigan, like it's really only like 4 to 5 hours to the tip of the Lower Peninsula to get to Mackinac Bridge.
Well, let me look.
Yeah,
You
just
keep
look it up.
talking.
And that's what I'm thinking, right? So if have a remote job and I'm self-sufficient, like I would just go to Mackinac City for, I don't know, a couple weeks. Why not?
Just to visit, see what's there,
Yeah.
hang out, and then you can move on to your next adventure.
Yeah, but what I was talking about is like having this trailer still. Like obviously I would not want to sell it or anything, and it's so cheap that as long as I can find a way to make the same amount of money like that I'm making now but do it remote somehow, then I could just go and it would be like the ultimate like adventure. Like could you imagine just getting away for that long?
Literally can't. Check.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, that's because you can still hear me, right?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
I wonder what it. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, did hear
Oh.
that little.
Yeah, let me go switch on my XLR cable real quick. You talk about Mackinac Island.
Okay, well, instead of looking up the actual island, I'm just gonna look up the bridge, and you're right, it is like 4 hours and 20 minutes from us. Please hold. Please hold. We got technical difficulties. While he's changing that out, one of the things Charles actually wanted me to come onto the show and talk about was, besides talking about how he inspired me, watching him, my best friend, I just wanted to put this out there. Since that day, I wanted to start YouTube, and I always had. So I've been brainstorming, jotting down ideas of like, what kind of channel do I want, and what name do I want it? And for anybody out there who knows this guy, I've been really, really into Asmongold lately. And it's funny that I bring him up, because back in the day, they used to have what they would call internet basement trolls, or like battle stations. That's what they're called. My bad. Not trolls. I mean, we are trolls, but that's a different story.
We're troglodytes.
Yeah. Back in the day, Reddit and like 4chan, and there would be like these battle station reports. And it was, you would take a video or a picture of your setup, like your computer, your desk, and what's around it. You talked about how people don't care about what your background is, or whether it's like really nice or doesn't matter. Asmongold is known as like, he has that persona of live with their parents, basement dweller, balding, which his fan base always makes fun of him for. And his setup has always been pretty trash. He always has A1 sauce bottles every fucking where. He's always got pop cans everywhere. He is doing better. He even talks about how he started cleaning up more, but it still looks like your generic mess, but not as bad as it used to.
People care about the person.
But he's fucking amazing.
See, that's the thing, though.
He is his style of doing streams and react videos, and just the way that he talks and about something, but also interacts with his fans, is exactly how I would like to do stream videos. Whereas Angry Joe, which I've talked to you about before, I love the way that he has his videos set up for videos. So talking about movies and shows or games or doing game reviews rather than react videos. So I wanted to do a YouTube video that kind of like combines the both styles of I'm doing a stream where I'm reacting to people, reacting to a video. They want me to go and watch something, I'll go and watch it. I want to go and watch something, I'll go and watch it. And then you inspired me to make separate videos talking about what I want or what's happening in my life, making like vlogs. Or just like I could just do like a weekly documentary of everything that's happening in my personal life. And then just see where it goes from there.
I feel like you can, I mean, that's the best part is the freedom. You can do whatever you want, you know? And honestly, like the YouTube thing is cool and all for me, but like that's not my main route with it.
Well, isn't your main goal is to gain that freedom from something that you love doing?
Social media is my focus. I do the camera for the podcast only because there's actually only, well, I could say two valid reasons.
Okay.
The first one being that is the only way I'm going to be able to make a valid clip that is worthy of posting on
to your socials,
to my social medias, with
Okay.
Instagram Reels and TikTok, whatever. Like that is the only way I'm going to get it. Two, this is another thing. So when I posted the link to the YouTube video for the podcast, I think it's at like 30 views now, which is like, for me, that's a lot, dude. 30 views on it's like they're both at like 30, 32 views, right?
Okay.
And all my other genuine videos that took forever to make, cinematic, like almost masterpieces compared to my other stuff, get around the same thing, if not like less views, like 20 views.
And you had to put in less effort and less work.
Essentially, because it's just a straight roll. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Because you're just putting the almost, I don't want to say uncut, unedited version of it,
Well,
but a more raw version.
It is. I don't edit it.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
Instead of making it
besides-
cinematic as fuck.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I mean, obviously, I have the good camera, and I still color grade it because it takes me 3 seconds to do that. And, well, by the way, that 3 seconds of color grading was like 5 years in the making. Like, it took me 5 years to get the experience and the eye and everything to know exactly where those settings need to be to get that right film cinematic look. That's why when you look at it on the YouTube, on the YouTube videos, it looks like the color just looks rich for some reason.
It feels vibrant.
Yeah, you're like, that doesn't look like his room. You're like, this looks great.
I ain't gonna say shit. I'm one of the few people that knows what your room looks like in real life. So everybody out there, his room always looks that fantastically vibrant. Lights on, lights off, doesn't matter.
So
Too bad you're never gonna visit.
Well, maybe. So
Hello there.
the whole point being is that sometimes it's not always about, I mean, it is about what you want, don't get me wrong. But if you want to go down a route, like fitness, for example, it's always the easiest one for me to compare it to. Like,
Right.
you're like, oh, I want to get in shape. Yeah, it is about what you want. But doesn't mean you can just go eat fast food for your macros every day. You know what I mean?
Well, you gotta have like some kind of plan of attack, like a vision.
A proper one, though.
Right.
Like it has to be like the math equation has to work for the answer to be right. You know what I mean?
2 + 2 = 6.
Exactly. So what I mean by that is there is a large amount of people that like podcasts in video form, and just because I prefer to listen to them on Spotify doesn't mean that everybody else does.
Wow, I guarantee you there's how many okay, you've seen Joe Rogan. Obviously
Yeah.
we've talked about him before. I know you listen to him and you know he makes video podcasts
Yeah,
where it's not just audio.
Yeah. Well, Spotify has video now too, by the way.
Oh, I didn't know that.
If you want to upload the video, but it takes way longer. But just long story short, my Spotify numbers, we're talking like under 5. Like under 5 listens.
Well, you just started.
But the YouTube already has like over 30 per video. Do you see what I'm saying? So just because I prefer to listen to it,
Which one would you consider a bigger platform, though? Because that also makes a difference.
it just depends on your audience. I think it just depends on your audience.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
So that's why I'm my plan of attack is everyone. Like Gary Vee said, he's like, don't just focus on YouTube. Don't just focus on Instagram. Don't just focus on TikTok. Do all of them. One's going to hit.
I mean, that is true. And then you also said this in your last video. You linked all your socials to the bottom. So when one platform gets big, the other platforms grow too.
Exactly. So like when my one TikTok went like extremely viral, I seriously got about 600 followers from it on Instagram. That's it. And I still have a lot of them.
That massive.
Yeah, and because I went from like 700 followers to like 1,500, and now it's like down to like 1,300.
Damn.
Because a lot of people will follow then unfollow if you don't follow back. But I only follow like 130 people. You know what I mean?
Follow me, and I'll follow you.
I don't do that
Alright,
shit.
Thanks, scammer. Yeah,
I'm
'cause
sorry.
You do follow them, and then they never follow back.
Well, sometimes it's like you have to your profile has to like seem. I don't want to sound condescending here, like I'm this all important person. I'm not. But
yeah, I mean, in your universe, you are.
yeah, but I'm saying from the broad spectrum of things, I'm not saying like, oh, like, you're special if I follow you. No, it's like if you post the type of content that I feel like provides value to me in any way, shape, or form, positivity. I mean, this
Entertainment, knowledge. Honestly,
it could be anything.
Yeah, it could be anything.
Like it could be food, it could be
food,
cats. I don't know. Like somebody just followed me recently, and all they post is they post a lot of locations from Michigan that they've been that I didn't even know existed. I'm like, dude, I didn't even know. I knew Michigan was
Here's your
beautiful.
Michigan travel guide.
Yeah, it seemed like a Michigan travel guide, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna follow back because this is good information. Because you can only Google like, oh, best spots in Michigan and get what you can get, but then the locals always know way more. So if you know somebody that's actually been, it's way different than just looking it up on the internet. Or even like I try to look at
like the what is that rating site?
Yelp.
Yeah, Yelp reviews on different places in Michigan are terrible. Like you still get like sometimes like being Michiganders, I've looked up places in Michigan and then I've been there and then I see the Yelp review, I'm like, this person doesn't live in Michigan. I can tell just by the way they're talking about the place.
Exactly.
But there would be some times where it'll be someone from out of state that comes over, Yelp reviews a place I've never been, and then it's like, wow, now I got a new place I can go to. So it's like that up and down of you haven't been everywhere. Even within your own state, you haven't seen everything. So it's cool when you realize there's still more out there.
And you never will.
Yeah, not if you make it your life mission to see every inch of one state.
Yeah, one state, yeah. But like every place of every state now.
You could, the day you were born to the day that you died naturally, if you were out there traveling, trying to make that baby to that kid, to that teen, to that adult, to that grandparent, see every inch of the entire world, never would happen in one lifetime.
Yeah,
there's too many things and too many places in the world.
That's why, that's part of the inspiration behind if I could get a traveling podcast it wouldn't be a travel podcast. It'll just be like a podcast where I'm traveling and I just do my episodes on the road. That's what I mean by that. Like, I don't mean, hey, this is where I'm at. This is what I did. You know what I mean? Like, specifically, and I'm going to title this episode Mackinac Island. Like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Well, then that would just be like a destination podcast.
It'd
like,
just- it'd be the
talking
same
about different
podcast.
destinations.
There's really no theme other than
No, I'm not saying what you're talking about. I'm just
Oh.
saying if you only talked about where you
Yeah.
were or where you were going, then it would be like a destination podcast rather than your podcast.
a traveling Yelp podcast.
Hello, we're gonna be going to Mackinac Island today. I heard they got good fudge.
Yeah, when I go to places like that, I'm gonna have to like actually drop. Well, that's another thing.
Drop a brick.
Like, the way I've been eating lately, like I'd have to figure out how I'm gonna do that on the road.
Just stop at a store, get your usual organic foods, raw honey,
Yeah.
and then you.
Well, a lot of fruits and
Well,
raw
you already
honey.
talked about how you need electricity in your vehicle.
Yeah.
Mini fridge. So anything that needs to be stored can be.
Yeah. I just gotta figure all the fine details out. But I mean, I could make it a couple weeks without.
Hey, you just go out into the forest to forage.
Yeah, just like dried protein sources. Hey, that's another thing
You
about
start eating bark.
Did you
It's like
see that?
jerky?
Did you see that thing where you can actually get water from a birch tree?
Like water?
Yeah, like you can like hammer a spigot into the.
Isn't that more like sap? Like tree
No,
sap?
it's straight water.
No, I didn't hear about this.
I just saw a video on it. Hopefully it was real. Like that'd be dumb. You know how dumb
they
I'd
just
look?
edit it.
But no, I was like, all right, well that's a good survival tip. But that's another good thing about the calisthenics that I've been starting to do.
You
I
can
can-
work out anywhere.
Anywhere.
Well, 'cause
Anywhere.
It's like what you said in the last video. Calisthenics is just body weight exercises. So as long as you have your body, you can exercise.
Yeah, I mean you need like very minimal equipment, but I mean you're talking like stuff that for like pull ups and stuff, you just need like something to hang from essentially. And that's
You
it.
go to the local park or wherever you are at, and you use their monkey bars to do pull-ups.
Yeah, you could do that. I mean,
You can
anything's
find
possible.
a bench, and then you can do dips.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can do. There's so many things that, as long as you're slightly creative about it, you can use it to do calisthenics, because in the end, it is your body, and that's all you really need.
I just can't believe. First off, it's like really difficult for me to get like my arms sore specifically. And my arms have been totally fried every workout. Like especially my triceps for some reason, and then my biceps, because those never get sore, and I will train them so hard, like with weights, like go to absolute failure, like whatever, but I've been doing certain things where it's just tearing me up, and I'm seeing way more results than ever before, and I cannot believe it.
Well, could it? Because you talked about this in the past before, how you need to change up your routine to confuse the muscle, because your muscle gets used to a certain movement after a while or a certain way, and then it doesn't tear down the same way. It's almost like you become resistant to that exercise, to that movement. So if you change it, then you've confused your body, and then now it's got to start over again.
Well, I would agree with everything you said except for the muscle confusion part. I just don't believe in that. I just want to be clear here on the record. Like the muscle confusion thing, I think it's more of a concept, but the execution of the idea isn't necessarily correct. Like everything the way you described it is correct. Like something that you're not used to doing. Like, I don't know, like example, like body weight stuff. It's just going to hit the muscles differently. So if you're not ever doing that and then one day you just do it, or one day you do something with extreme stability, like your muscles are going to be like a new kind of sore. But I don't think it has anything to do with confusion rather than tolerance, like you said. More of like a
Okay.
tolerance-based thing where because you're not used to it and now you're hitting it in a new way, even if it's not as optimal, even if it's not technically better or worse, you're just hitting it in a way that it's not used to, then yeah, like that makes complete sense.
That makes sense too. Because I always thought it was your muscle just naturally becomes more resistant to a specific movement.
I would say so. Kind of like if you don't run ever and then you go for like a 2-mile run, like the fronts of your ankles and shins and just all these muscles that you didn't realize could get sore are now sore. But like if you start running every day, like a mile, they'll never get sore unless you push it like 5-6 miles.
I mean, I guess that's the point of getting stronger. It does become resistant, so then you have to take
Yeah.
it up a step, and then
Yeah.
it's resistant again, and then you gotta take it further.
Yeah, the level of stimulus required, like to actually tell the muscle, like, all right, we actually need to get bigger and stronger past a certain point.
Oh yeah. I don't know if you actually want to. I don't know why I'm thinking about this now. I don't know if you want to say it on the podcast, but you mentioned there was 2 like life-changing events that you didn't really talk about in your last podcast.
Yeah.
Did you want to share with that off screen? Because I forgot to ask you earlier.
There are 2 just specific events that I felt were not coincidence that the average schmojo would.
Well, not a lot of people are looking for
Yeah.
these things either.
Yeah, I think I'll tell you off camera. Like it's just very personal.
It that came to mind, so I wanted to ask.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all about getting vulnerable on here. I just got to hit the video again 'cause it's a 30-minute recording time. It'll be like on YouTube where you get that black screen again. All right, hold on. I got to change out the battery real quick.
Hello. Not the battery.
Yeah, just keep talking. Actually, you know what? No, I can pause the recording and resume. All right, we're back. That was a short intermission. I had to change the battery in the camera. And luckily for everybody, it just seemed like a skip. But I don't know. I'm not too hard on myself about this stuff anymore. Because when I listen to podcasts and they have a technical difficulty, I'm like, I don't give a single fuck. Just like, and then if they fix it, I mean, I'm listening. You know what I mean?
For us, it was like a couple minutes.
Yeah.
But to you guys, it's going to be,
like 5 seconds.
if that. It's just going to be a few seconds.
Yeah.
But hey, I was thinking on when I finished your second video for your podcast,
Yeah.
I was almost surprised that I didn't hear you say, "Hey, if you want any if you guys got any questions or you want to hear me talk about something, leave comments down below." 'Cause in my head, I'm more of the YouTube mind, so I'm thinking like comments, like and subscribe. Hey, go and check out my Instagram. If maybe I'll do a poll, you know, like I'm thinking of all these other things. And I was kind of surprised I didn't hear you say, "Hey, if you want me to do a Q&A video on like my 5th episode."
The way I see it is they'll find me if they want to find me. And when I have the audience in divine timing, when I have that audience and that reach, I won't have to ask for that kind of stuff.
That's true.
It'll be presented to me, and then one day I can just put on my story. You know how on Instagram you can like ask a question, and then all of the questions will get like sorted into your story thing. Like I can do that, and then I will literally have pages of questions to answer for an episode. Like I don't have to worry about it. Like it'll happen one day, you know. And
yeah,
and I'm not
later down the line, but you can always encourage activity, interaction.
that I agree, but like they'll do it. Trust me. They will do it.
Oh, well, that's just a given. You get big enough, people are gonna say something.
They're gonna DM me,
question you.
When I went viral on that first one,
or not question you, give you a question.
I had over 100 requested DMs.
Really?
Yes.
Damn.
Do you see what I'm saying? I won't have to ask for that. Like, and if anything, like I'll let it happen on its own. I'm not worried about that right now. What I'm worried
That's
about,
just where my mindset goes,
yeah, it's a YouTube mindset, like
Yeah.
of the things that you want to do, right?
Yeah,
Like it makes more sense like that.
because that's I watch YouTube as my TV rather than TV
Which is good.
because we don't have cable.
I'll never will.
It doesn't make sense to me. Why would I pay? Why would anybody pay for cable when we have internet? Just pay for that, and then you can just get your streams.
You can
And
get
if
like a $10 streaming service.
everybody out there, friends, family, get together. Everybody can pitch in on one stream service, or everybody has a streaming service, and then you just password share. Fuck those companies that tell you not to. The whole point of having someone in your family get a streaming service is so that everyone can use it.
I can confidently say I don't pay for any of the streaming services, but I have access to all of them.
You're welcome.
Yeah. You and like 2 other people are responsible for like letting me like use their stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but the only one I never gave you was Paramount Plus.
No, I don't really use it though. I did
But
have
honestly,
it.
I don't even know if we have it anymore because I don't use it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one that's on the struggle bus. Like, that's probably, like, the lowest one.
Toot, toot.
Yo, but one of the things I do want to say before I forget is,
Okay.
remember how I was talking, me and Brad were talking before the podcast, and I literally had to be like, we need to stop and just start talking on the podcast because we can go forever. But
Our
when I
late
was-
night door talks.
yeah, I kept like going, well, I could keep now going back to the storage room and organizing it more and more, just chipping away slowly because it is so much work. And I think to myself,
It'd be cool if you did a vlog of you going through and be like, hey, check out all these memories. I'm trying to reduce and minimize, like you were talking before.
maybe, I don't know if I want to do that. 'Cause
Advertise it. People might see it and they'll be like, I want to buy that.
maybe just one before and one after picture. That's what I'll do.
All right, fine.
But well, number one, it's like a patience thing. Like, I want to sell stuff immediately. I want to get rid of stuff immediately. Then I realize I'm like, okay,
It usually never happens that way.
I know, and I just have to accept it. But one of the things I thought about with the whole door opening and door closing thing was that I was ready to move forward in a very specific avenue of my life in like February/March. But then I remembered, I was like, all right, so what if like the universe was like essentially putting my life on hold or like taking certain things away from me because I stopped what I was doing that brought me to that point in the first place, which was, remember the Momentum 90 thing I was doing? Remember how like I was on top of everything. I was still organizing more than ever in there, getting rid of
Yeah.
shit. And then I just stopped. You know what I mean?
I figured you were going to take, like, you needed a break, but then you stopped doing it for, like, over a month? Or close to a
since
month?
February 1st.
But I thought you still went in there and took, like, a few things every now and then.
Yeah, anything I needed, but it had nothing to do with organizing or like letting go
Oh.
of things. Because remember,
Okay.
the whole point was to minimize.
Right, to get rid of, to let go.
Yeah, to let go, get the weight off my shoulders, and also declutter completely. Because
Okay, I thought you were still going in there occasionally to be like, I picked this thing. Like, you were just slowing down to, like, take your time with it. I didn't know you were going in there to use that, not get, like, let go of it.
no, because remember, well, February 1st was literally the last day I did it because that was the day that my then girlfriend flew in.
Right.
So
Yeah. Because
that-
you were doing a lot of cleanup before she got here, and then
it was. I mean, it wasn't for that reason. Like I was already doing it.
no, you just made it a point to do more cleanup. Come on now.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You wanted it to be nice.
A little bit, just a little bit. But like that's my point is I was in that flow and then that happened and like I said, it wasn't about me not wanting to do it anymore. It was more like a technical distraction, even though it was a great one. And like my thing is like that's an example of like a door opening and closing thing is like, well, I was in the middle of this like minimizing experience and doing all these things and then like stuff happened and then I kind of like veered off that track that I originally
sidetracked.
Yeah, I guess sidetracked. But when I was in there yesterday, 'cause I was in there for like probably 3 or 4 hours, and I'm not gonna lie, like I was really high. I like to hit my bong a couple times before I start cleaning and organizing. Like it's the best for me. But dude, I want to talk about this too. It's like kind of sensitive, not really, but it's just very emotional to me, and I still don't know why. And this is something I'm gonna figure out soon. And it's so I have these 2 boxes of like old family photos, like 2 full boxes. I'm talking like from when I was like basically like born to whenever they stopped taking pictures with their disposable cameras, like the Kodak ones.
Yeah, the little printouts.
Yeah, they're all the printouts, right? And dude, I'm like looking at them and I'm like I start crying, and like I mean it wasn't just a tear, bro. Like it was like sobbing. And I remember, like, whenever my dad would put on home movies, like, in the living room just to, like, check them out, like, I would start crying then when I was young.
Well, you've always had a deep emotional connection to family. Like, family, the memories of being with them. 'Cause, I mean, they are your family. Everybody understands family. Some people just have a deeper connection to that feeling of family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've always had a deep feeling of family. So when you see
Yeah.
something like that's heavy sentimentality.
Dude, it's heavy. Like, it's, like, if we take the box out right now, so looking at it, I'll start crying. Like,
Please don't.
I won't, don't worry.
Like I'm okay seeing you cry, but we'll save that for like you should do like a vlog so it's like a one-time thing so that they
Yeah.
can see you like get super emotional.
Get
I don't think you
destroyed.
want to get a podcast.
Dude.
You just
Dude, I didn't even make it halfway through the box. I'm like, I have to stop. Like I can't breathe right now. Like I can't see, I can't breathe. Like my eyes are full of tears, and you know when you start crying,
Yeah,
your
you
nose starts
start-
getting stuffy.
you start getting that stuffy, your eyes start feeling puffy.
Yeah.
And you know that it's just you can't do anything in that moment until you've calmed down.
Yeah, but it was like, it almost felt necessary though. Like I was like, because now that I'm so in tune with myself, every time that I come into we'll call it conflict or like high stress situation where it invokes a heavy emotional response, even if I'm still reacting to it, like crying or whatever, I still try to be objective about it and like use it as an opportunity to go deeper inside and understand, why am I feeling this way? Like, why am I crying while looking at things that are supposed to be happy? You know?
Well,
I think it comes down more to like the time. Like when I'm looking at these things, first off, it's unlocking memories. Like I'm like, because when you like right
couldn't
now,
you say those could be tears of joy too? Because people get so happy that they start crying too.
I think it's like a mixture of both. I think it's just like overall overwhelming nostalgia feeling. You know,
Like the sadness of it being gone, but the happiness that it happened.
yeah, but I think why it was just overall intense. I think it's just emotional intensity. Like, part of it was like sad, but like half of it, I guess it's literally like half and half. It was just half like, oh my god, like I kind of just want to be a kid again, and then the other half is
I think
like,
as
oh my
all
God,
adults
look at
want
that.
to be kids again, no responsibility.
Yeah.
Parents take care of you. You just have to worry about going to school, which was the easiest thing because it
Yeah.
was just hang out with friends. You did homework. Oh, congratulations. Would you rather do homework or would you rather go to work for 8-hour plus day for the entire day?
even though we were at school for like the same time, it
Yeah.
didn't feel
No,
like
'cause-
work does.
No. I regret that I didn't take school as seriously growing up. We were both smart kids. But I don't know if I want to call it, because you know how I had that 2-year-long depression.
From what years?
It was like the start of high school. So,
Ninth grade
Ninth grade.
to like 9th through 10th.
Hold on. I'm going to say it was actually 10th grade when it started. So 10th and 11th grade, because it could have been at the end of 9th grade, but I remember 10 to 11, I was in this deep depression where it wasn't even like I was sad.
Yeah.
I just stopped giving a single fuck about everything. And that's when we were smoking really hard too. Like I started
Yeah.
or I shouldn't say we. I started
Well,
smoking a lot harder.
When you said that, I was thinking of like the time frame, and I was like, okay, like 9th and 10th kind of makes sense. Then when you said 10th and 11th, I'm like, okay, that makes sense because 11th was hospitality. And that's a good like landmark for us to
Well,
remember the times.
Even though I already did crazy shit, I started just not caring what I did. Like we're not gonna talk about certain things, but there were certain things that me in a 9th grade or 8th grade
Yeah.
and me now would not have done in that class.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Yeah, so it was like a depression of like I stopped caring about everything, and then school went down the hill. Certain relationships went downhill, and I ended up having to transfer schools so I could graduate on time.
When you said that 2-year-long thing, I was trying to remember, and then like, well, first off, like I can only recall like major stuff from high school, but then I was trying to like remember the time of all that stuff. Like 11th grade for me, you and I were like really only close because of like when we would hang out after school, but also because of hospitality. Like that was major for us.
Well, that was one of the first things where we've never really had a class together except for homeroom
Yeah.
and hospitality.
Yeah, we were like, dude, they never give us classes together.
I know. It pissed me off.
we had that one math class in 10th grade, but dude, see 10th grade for me is hard to remember.
I don't
Like,
remember too much about 10th grade either.
Neither do I. Other than that was like the first year I lost all the weight. Like that's all I remember. But after that,
I remember French class for 10th grade because there was one incident where I did not want to do a presentation because I did all the work. I'm the one that made this. We had this group project where we had to create like a song and then choreograph it and then present it to the class. And
is this French?
French.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember I'm the one that wrote the song, like translated it from French to English and back so that I could give it to the teacher. Then I'm the one that told everybody else, hey, what would you like to do? Okay. Took their ideas, made a choreographed scene, and I got so mad because I ended up doing everybody's work. And I told the teacher, I was like, hey, I want out of this group. And she told me no. So I said, all right, then I'm going to call myself the director, and I'm not going to go and present it in front of class because I did everything that is being worked on. And she said she'd fail me.
That's fucked.
So she failed me because I refused to go in there and dance like a monkey for everybody's affection,
dude,
so that I can get a C+.
That's crazy. I had the exact opposite experience
know,
with
she
that
loved
teacher.
you.
Yeah,
She loved you.
Even to when like my younger sister I think she took like 2 years of French, and I think because I just recently found out. I'm trying to get closer with her. Not like, I mean, I haven't really made any like active attempts super lately, except for like Easter. I talked to her, but if she's watching this, she'll see. It's hard for me sometimes to connect with certain family members. I feel like, I don't know why. Maybe it's an internal
Dr.
thing.
Pepper, sponsor us.
Yeah, sponsor Brad on his YouTube channel. I don't need that kind of sponsorship here.
I will drink it all day, every day. Just give it to me.
But damn, I know I was going to talk about her favoriting me for. Oh, dude, now that we're out of high school, I can literally say, dude, on the final exam, she literally helped me. She literally gave me the answers.
Oh, dude, no, okay. I remember you telling me this.
We won't name drop her, but
yeah,
anybody. We didn't even say the high school, but
there's nothing wrong. Let me put it this way: I've never disliked that teacher.
okay.
It was only that one incident because I was good at French. It may not seem like it now because I'm a bumbling idiot now, but in school, I was pretty smart. I could pick up things pretty quickly if I actually applied myself.
I was gonna say you just didn't apply yourself to the homework and stuff.
No, I never did.
Yeah.
I hated doing homework.
Dude, that's. I mean, I don't want to say everybody.
No, I was ignorant and arrogant because I was naturally smart. I could pick up things pretty quickly. So whenever we got something, I always felt like, why do I have to do this when I already know it? Like I would learn something in a matter of like a week versus we're learning this for 2, 3, or 4 weeks because other kids need to catch up to the ones that already learned.
Yeah.
So I would get actually mad and feel like, why do I have to sit here and keep learning the same thing over and over if I've already learned it? I want to move on.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. For sure.
So I would start refusing to do homework.
That's just the thing, though. Like, you want to do your own thing, but you just can't. Like, it's just the unfortunate reality of being in a, like, standardized, like, testing procedure type, uniform, employee-producing high school, public school system. You know what I mean?
Well, I truly believe now school is necessary. I'm just going to throw that out there.
K through 12.
K through 12.
I wouldn't say college is necessary.
No, college isn't necessary unless you're going for like something specific like a doctor.
Yeah,
you need that specific knowledge to be a good doctor.
It's goal oriented for sure.
But I think the structure and the system itself of school is not great. It's like what you just said where it produces workers. You're graded on how well you obey at this instead of how smart you actually are.
One size fits all.
But it doesn't.
Exactly. They treat it as such, though.
Well, it's almost like they're breeding people to be assembly workers.
They are. Think about it. Imagine if every single person tried to be an entrepreneur all at once. You would have no grocery store workers. Let's be honest. I mean, grocery stores and stuff, like as essential as they are, could you imagine if nobody wanted to do like, because to me, like there's like certain levels of jobs that I kind of just view as like absolute grunt work, where like
My first job was working at a Kroger's.
that's what I'm saying though. Like I'm not like talking down on them. I'm just saying like personally that they just seem like grunt work to me. Like I could never do them because of that.
No, I agree.
Like we're talking like the most repetitive thing, like along the lines of being like an assembly line worker, like on the Model T back in the day, where you're like, I put the screws in for this door, the same 5 screws all
Right.
day
You have
on
two
that.
people on either. You have one person on either side. They both put a door on. Then it goes down. You have two
the
people on
hood.
4 people on either side. Now the tires go on,
Yeah,
and then it goes down. And then you have 2 people put a hood on top,
yeah,
and then it
exactly.
goes down.
Exactly. No, like I just don't think I'm cut out for that. Like pallet building or Amazon or whatever. You know what I
Well,
mean?
Let's be real. There's a lot of necessary
They're
things
necessary.
in this world that are jobs that need to be done
Yeah.
to make society thrive.
That's what I meant about like grocery stores. Is without those workers, I mean, like if everybody want to be an entrepreneur at once, we'd probably be fucked. Like it'd probably just be pure anarchy. Like I don't see a way that they could like mitigate the loss
No, it would be
of
impossible.
all those. Like I mean, it would be like just pure delivery at that point. You would have to just be like pure like like you have to order it online now. Like your groceries, like you have to order them online. Like you have no choice because there's no workers now. You know what I mean? I just don't see. I just think they're necessary. I just think they're
The only way, because I've thought about this before, and even though I think the school system should change, I don't think it should change yet.
until something better
evil-
is presented.
As evil as that may sound because of what you just said.
But let's be honest though.
But
We had a good
robots.
time. We had a good time in high school though.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
fun,
it
and
was
middle,
fun.
especially middle school.
Yeah.
Those were some of the craziest fucking days ever. Like, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't change anything about it, to be honest. Like myself, like I don't really have any complaints. Like in
There's certain things that I still regret through school, but that doesn't mean I would change it.
yeah.
I think that's the main difference. There's certain things that I would change because they
Probably
were
your actions.
Yeah, there was stuff that I personally regret doing
Yeah,
rather
w-
than I regret being in a situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That was like me when I failed. I only ever failed one class in my life. And I can say it was only because I didn't give a fuck. And I straight up did not apply myself whatsoever. It was 10th grade English A. Because you know how, like they all had A's and B's.
Yeah.
Like part 1, part 2, but we all had trimesters. Like we were
A B C D E F E.
So it was like, but you remember how like you got lucky if you got all your A's and B's done in the first and second trimester, so your third trimester you just fuck off
Yeah.
because it was just all electives. So, like it was like 10th grade, English A, and it was the one. I don't know if it was just her class. I forgot her name. It started with a V, but it was a vocabulary test, like ventrilo something. It was like
I know you're
You're talking about-
Yeah.
I think it was ventrilo.
was it?
Well, I keep thinking ventriloquist, but
Yeah. When you said okay. Either way.
yeah, it doesn't matter. So the vocabulary test, it started every week. We got 10 more words. So like
I remember those tests.
So it was like, but every week it would be added on to the last 10. So it would be 10, then 20, 30, and 40. And I never got past. Like I never even did the first one. So like every week I'd fail hard as fuck, and there'd be more points every week. Like literally to the end of
It'd
the
be like 10 points.
Yeah, the last
20,
week it
30,
was
40,
like
50, 100.
yeah. Then you can start getting into the hundreds, and I'm just fucked. Like it was like, oh, you just got 16 out of 90 points on this, like, and it just trashed my fucking grade for the class.
You
Like,
only got 16 because you put your name down.
dude, that brings up a good point. There was this class. It was some kind of science class. I don't remember. And this was like the only time I ever like air quote talked back to a teacher. Like I destroyed him in front of the class. And I wasn't even that type of person back then. You know that.
No, you were definitely not the most confrontational.
No, especially in a class where I didn't have any friends. But, like, dude, I really had to stand up for what was right this time. Because,
Like, it irks you that much?
yeah. Because I would have gotten 100% on this one assignment, but he marked off, like, it was like 1 or 2 points or something for not putting the date next to my name. Because you know how it always said name and date?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't put the date, so he marked me down, like, 2 points out of, like, 20 or 30.
Was it on a regular, like, homework assignment?
It was just a regular assignment.
Okay.
Maybe a quiz even.
Okay, because there's quizzes and tests and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And when I got it back, and it said, like, -2, and I was, like, looking front and back, dude. I'm like, where did I
And
get
all
one
the
wrong?
answers are right.
Yeah, I got 100% on the answers part. And then, like, when he, like, asked the class, he's like, any questions on the grading? I just, dude, I didn't even have to think about it. I just raised my hand. And I was like, why did you, I said,
What's the -2?
yeah, I was like, I have, like, -2 missing, but I have all of the answers right. And then he asked me, well, did you put the date on it? And I looked at it and I said, no.
Can I take your hat, sir?
So when I said no, he's like, well, that's why. And I said, okay. I said, first off, that doesn't make any sense. Because, number one, I said, so if I would have just turned in the blank assignment with no date, would I have -2 points then? Is it part of you? It's clearly not part of the grading criteria then, if you're not including it. So that one question, I was like, if I turned it in blank with my name on it and no date, would I get -2? Because there was like 30 questions and it was worth 30 points.
-2.
Yeah. So, and then even like the class got quiet. It was pure silence. Like it was just me and him talking, and I was at my seat. Like I didn't go up. I just raised my hand. It was with him and I talking.
Yeah.
And he couldn't give me a rational answer, and I was just like, okay.
So can you change it back to 100?
I don't even remember what happened, but like that was the
Oh.
only time I ever like really called out a teacher like in front of everybody, because I was just like, dude, that's dumb. I actually do the fucking work.
It'd be different if he left a note that said, hey, remember to put the date down next time. But then just mark
Yeah.
you down.
That or actually put it in the criteria. Like if there's 30 questions, it's out of 32 points because there's 2 points for the date. You know what I mean?
Yeah, see, that's actually a good way of thinking about it. If it is a 30-point questions, or 30 questions, a point for each, so it's like you get 30 out of 30. But your name and date add 1 point.
Yeah.
So then it's out of 32.
Right. But
they never do that.
But that's not how it was. It was just
Yeah.
purely 100%. He's going to dock my grade.
That makes no sense.
My grade reflects my knowledge in the class, correct?
No.
I mean, to them, right?
It reflects your obedience.
Exactly, but overall, like that's what it's supposed to be.
That's what it's supposed
to be.
Right.
It's supposed to mean, oh, you have an A plus 100% in math, trigonometry. You must understand trigonometry, correct? That's what they would say. So you're literally gonna dock my fucking grade based on me not putting the date. So my grade is gonna reflect, hey, he didn't do well in this assignment, but he got 100% of the questions right. Fuck you.
But they're not gonna look. Anybody who looks at
What?
that, like anybody who looks at your end all be all score,
Yeah.
isn't gonna be like, I wonder why he got an 83 out of 100. You know, like
Yeah. I mean,
why isn't he a 3.0? Why does he have a 2.5 GPA? They're not gonna look into your personal history and be like,
know.
well, out of all the thousands of assignments that he's done, he didn't put the date here. He only got one wrong, and it was only wrong because you didn't carry the one. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
No one's gonna do that. They're just gonna look at that blank number and just assume, all right, he's either smart or he's a dumbass.
Yeah.
So why get docked for not putting the date down?
Yeah. Dude, a point I wanted to touch on earlier when I was talking about those pictures before we went off track
Yeah.
was some of the pictures I was looking at. Like, I didn't realize that I had memories from those times until I saw the picture. You know what I mean?
Like it's just unlocked that
Yeah.
memory. It's always been there, but
Yeah.
it's just seeing evidence of it. You're just it comes forward.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. So, like, if you ask me to try and think of, like, the most earliest childhood memory that I can possibly think of, like, we can all trace back at least one that is the earliest, even if it's at 4 years old. You know what I mean?
Right.
But then it's like I start looking at these pictures and I see where I was. I was like, oh, that was the fucking daycare. Oh my God, like there was one specific picture where it showed me and my sister like in it was like a Penske truck, like moving truck. When I see this is how much I don't know. Like I don't remember if we were moving to Florida or to Michigan in the video. I think we were driving to Michigan.
So you were born in Florida?
No, I was born here.
Oh.
Then I was
Oh, then you moved over there and then came back.
yeah. You know what? I actually
Or
this will be good. I need to say this on the recording so I don't forget.
okay.
I want to have an episode with my dad.
That would actually be that would be something.
Yeah, could you imagine?
That would be something.
That'd be good.
I would love to hear what your dad has to say.
I want him to tell the story of when like my mom took us to Florida and then he drove all the way down to Florida and then there was like I think it might have been an Amber Alert that was issued because my dad took us out of the backyard or no, out of the front yard of my grandma's place.
Didn't he hop the fence?
No, they were hiding behind the wall in the backyard. So in Florida, where my grandma and grandpa lived, my mom's parents, where she took us, they had a pool. And you've never been to Florida, right?
Farthest out of state I've ever gone to Chicago.
Okay, so I don't know if this is normal for any other state, but in Florida, I can tell you it's very normal. When they have, let me turn this video back on. Okay, so when they have pools, more often than not, they're actually all screened in.
Screened in pools?
Yeah. So what I mean by that is like whole
bug catchers, essentially.
The whole backyard is encapsulated. Not the whole backyard, but the whole pool area where it's like cement.
Oh,
it's
like a screened-in patio.
Yeah, it's a screened-in patio.
But for the pool.
Let me pull up a picture.
Yeah, like
trust me, it's different in Florida.
It's probably different than what I'm imagining, but I'm thinking of like it's like a greenhouse around the okay.
But it's all screen. There's
right.
Like, it's not glasses. I mean,
it's like a greenhouse, but it's all screened in.
Yeah. So right behind the screened-in pool area was this wall that was maybe 5 or 6 feet high, maybe even higher. Because behind it, in that subdivision of a neighborhood, it was like all like fucking forest and swamp or whatever the fuck. I still don't know because I was really young. I just know when I peeked behind it a couple times, it was kind of like a very dirt area, and then it was just like trees as far as you could see. So it was kind of just like a separation between the outside and the inside of the neighborhood, because they were on the very outskirts of the neighborhood. He was sitting behind that wall with my uncle, listening to us play in the pool. Like, that shit destroyed me to hear that.
He was just chilling there?
Listening. He's literally, like, listening to us play in the pool. Like, me and my sister. What the fuck?
This is when your mom took you guys to Florida to get away from him.
She didn't know. She didn't know he was there. They rented a van, and they were, like, staking the place out. The whole point of being there was to take us. We literally got kidnapped, like, in a sense, right? I mean, it's not a technical kidnapping, but like if it was any other person, it would be a kidnapping. Like, that's literally the operation that was carried out, because my mom unjustly took us to Florida.
Yeah. No, like the situation in itself is messed up.
Yeah.
But I don't know what caused that whole incident. But I'm just going to assume both parents had a reason.
Well, definitely.
Your mom and dad both had their own reason. So I'm not going to say your dad's creepy for doing it.
No, he's not.
Because if I was in his shoes, I'd probably do the same.
We would do the same thing.
Yeah.
I promise you we would.
Dude, if my wife like took my kids, went to a different state. Ex-wife. Okay. They had already broken up at this point.
Yeah, they were split. I don't know if it was like officially divorced, but like they weren't together. You know what I mean? Like he was with Amy. You know what I mean? He was with my stepmom.
I didn't know if this happened before or after.
No, it was after they split. But like
I would do it. Yeah, I would do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
I'd go wait for the perfect opportunity, and then I'd go and grab you.
Yeah, I will say a couple of things. My dad will tell the story 100 times better than me. There's so many fine details.
Well, he's going to tell you stuff that you probably never even heard of from his perspective.
Still, yeah.
Right.
Like more details and more details, because I remember there was a specific time when we were living in that other place on the corner of Old Fort and Gibraltar. You remember that?
Yep. Yeah,
like
I know
right
that.
around high school.
Right by the train tracks.
Yeah. So when we lived there was actually a time when this was funny because like my girlfriend at the time, like we went over there for like a kind of like a barbecue, and like me and my dad literally went off, like we sat off to the side, like probably 20 feet from them. And I was able to ask him all these questions about that exact scenario. I forgot what brought it on, but I was like, hey, like, I don't think I've really asked you, but like, could you tell me that story in its entirety? And he did. And that shit blew my mind. But I would love to hear it again, especially have it recorded.
Right.
You know? And
So you can always look back on it yourself
Yeah.
to have his exact words. And then when you have kids in the future,
yeah.
you can be like, your grandpa's fucking crazy. Just know he will always love you and be there for you.
Yeah, he'll always have your back no matter what.
Right.
But yeah, dude, like just thinking about like, and that's another thing, dude. Like even from a young age, and I don't know what brought it on to me, but like I remember a very specific memory of like just me and my dad chilling. Like, and I'm talking like I was young, probably toddler for sure. You know what I mean? And he had said something to me about like he will always be there for me, and like no matter what, and like that, like it made me cry then. You know what I mean? Like I have like a very huge soft spot, I feel like, for my dad. And I don't know why. I really don't. Like, I mean, yeah, you can be like, oh yeah, you know, you care about your dad, you care about your mom. But it's like, dude, like I feel like even in the past, like if I have a serious talk with him, I have to fight crying every time. And I don't know why. I have no clue why. I'm still trying to figure it out. I just get so emotional. So like when he's telling me like that story, just hearing him say like that he was sitting behind the wall listening to us to play in the pool, like I think it's 'cause I go there mentally. You know what I mean?
You're trying your absolute hardest to put yourself in that situation mentally.
Could you imagine sitting behind a fucking wall listening to your two kids having fun playing in a pool because they're too young to understand what's going on, but like your ex-wife basically just took them from you and then went across the country, and now you're just listening to them play in the pool, like happy as can be, not knowing that their dad's not around. Like that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like, and it just hurts to think about it like that.
Because he had to sit there and suffer while listening to that and just wait for the perfect
yeah.
opportunity.
So apparently, like when they took us, they were in a van out front, and
that is like the worst way you can start off. Apparently, when they took us, there was a van out front.
Yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't a white van, you know. It was probably like one of those.
Yeah, no grabbies.
It was probably like one of them Astros or something.
Astros? That's going old.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
The one with like the TV or whatever. But no, he had said that we were playing outside in the front, and he said, like the second my mom walked inside, boom, yeah, they grabbed us because apparently my stepmom was the getaway driver. So like it was my uncle, my dad, and my stepmom.
Yeah, okay.
My uncle, my dad
around waiting
grabbed
in the car,
us.
waiting.
Yeah, like waiting, like the getaway driver after the bank robbery. I forgot who grabbed who. I think my uncle grabbed me.
Yeah.
And then I think he also said that like as soon as he grabbed me, like I threw up everywhere in the car. Like,
well, yeah, you were at that age.
I think I was
you're
like
just
2.
Like, oh!
Yeah. Well, apparently my sister remembers it. Apparently
Really?
she remembers it. 'Cause remember, she's like 2 years older than me.
Okay, that's fair. Because at 2, it's very hard to remember things.
Like
at 2.
4 though.
But 4, you can remember something crazy like
yeah,
that.
like crazy. You can remember it. So I think I couldn't imagine having memories from then. Like I really don't have a memory of that at
Threw
all.
up in the car.
I don't know. I have to ask him. Like, I'll ask him all these questions when he's here and doing an episode. But yeah, dude, like just thinking about stuff like that, and then like so that just goes back to the pictures of like unlocking these memories that if I went back and thought about it, I can't even say for sure if I would have remembered those specific memories unless they were triggered by something.
Probably not. Because you could... one thing, because I've been to a therapist before.
Yeah.
One thing a therapist does, my therapist told me, is there's a lot of traumatic events that your memories are always there. From the moment you're born, your memories are there. It's just whether or not you yourself consciously can remember them. And a lot of times it is something that triggers that memory to come back and then for you to remember.
I mean, it makes sense. You know, like it's like essentially
So
being
that-
uncovered.
Yeah, so those family memories is what triggered you to be like, wow, I can't believe I forgot about this.
Well, there's some things where, like, even when I see a picture, I don't remember it because I was too young. But there's other times where, for example, the picture of us sitting in the moving truck, I do remember. Like, it actually took me back to an actual memory that I had at the time, and it was me like being car sick in the truck. Like, I had to go like sit and it was one or the other. I think I had to go into the truck or like into the other car that they were driving. One of the two. Like, I was car sick in one of them. And I just remember like feeling not good, and that's the only thing I can remember though. But that was just like when I had that experience to like relive it and all in like a split second by
Mhm.
seeing that picture, dude. It's just like now I start crying. You know what I mean? I cry even harder. Then I look at other pictures, and I'm like there's a picture. Like, my mom and dad owned a house in Melvindale. It was their first house they ever bought, I think.
Okay.
Maybe it was the first. I don't know. There was one in Detroit they had, but. See, I'll ask him these things. I need to get these things, like, I need to get these questions answered, dude.
Why don't you pull out that box and just go over it with them?
Because I'll cry.
Yeah, but that would make a good episode.
Yeah, especially in 10 years. Like,
Right.
I hate to bring up the subject of our parents not being around in the future, but it is a reality that's going to happen as sooner or
Eventually,
later.
we're not going to be around.
For our
and
kids.
then our
yeah,
kids won't
yeah.
be around.
But
And then those kids won't be around. I mean, everybody has a beginning and an end.
right, but my point is like when they're no longer around, could you imagine having a video like that,
I don't
dude?
even want to think about that.
Could you imagine having a video like that, though?
Yeah,
Like a high quality podcast and
just
video
him.
of you and them, like, crying, like, while going over pictures, like,
Yeah.
learning stuff you never knew, you know? And then there was pictures of, like,
I'm actually getting emotional thinking about it.
I know, you know, and, like, there's a picture in there that there's this classic picture, like, that's really classic to me and my dad and my mom technically, but it's the only picture I think that exists of me, my dad, and my grandpa all in the same picture, and it's Charles, the first, second, and third, because I'm the third.
The trilogy.
Yeah, Charles the Third podcast. I am the third, and I think I think that is the only picture that exists. Maybe there's a couple
all
more.
three of you?
Yeah, of all three of us in one sitting. Because that's another
And
story.
You have it.
That's another story I gotta tell him. You see, I'll say it now to remind myself, but I need to have my dad tell the story if he's okay with it, of how him and his dad were necessarily not on good terms until I was born, and that's what brought them back together.
Really?
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
so you were the linchpin that brought the family back together.
Yeah. I mean, and then, if he doesn't feel comfortable talking about that stuff, I'll still record it. I just won't post, like, those portions of it. But I still
be
want to
for
document.
your
Yeah,
archive.
it'll be for me. But that's another thing is, like, I think that's one of the reasons, But that picture, I didn't know my mom took it. 'Cause, like, when I told my mom, I'm like, yeah, this picture. And then, like, she's like, yeah, I took that picture. And I was like, what? And then when I was looking back through the pictures, there's a picture of her holding me, like, right after. In the same house, same exact, like, scene,
Yeah.
like the
Coulda
same
just been
time frame.
That was one picture, and
Yeah,
then
right
she
after.
yeah,
Yeah.
just handed someone else, and now she gets to hold you.
Yeah, that was crazy. I think I want to show you some of those pictures when we end the episode.
Okay.
I want you to see them because they're funny. Some of them are funny. Like, one dude, I had this straight bowl cut. I'm like, who's in charge of this, dude? It was a straight up bowl cut, like as bowl as it could get.
Well, okay, I can imagine that to an extent because your hairstyle back when we were younger in like
Yeah.
middle school was almost bowl cut, but wasn't a bowl cut. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was more like Justin Bieber, like swoosh.
Yeah.
Like that swooshy thing.
That's swoosh. A lot
Yeah.
better than I went down the route of the emo hair.
Yeah, I was always jealous though. You and Austin having black hair, dude. They would never let me dye my hair black. That's all. That's all I wanted in
funny.
middle school. Get you guys in trench coats and samurai swords.
I still have those pictures.
Where are they at?
I would have to scroll through my library on my phone.
Okay. That and like they're probably somewhere on Facebook.
They are on Facebook.
Like if you go back far enough. Dude, the picture of you where you're flipping off the camera and you can't even see your eyes because the hair is covering them with the black swoop there.
Yeah, I'm wearing a beanie with
Oh my
the
god.
trench coat, flipping off a camera with a samurai sword in one hand. I was an edgelord.
Dude, those days, like, nothing. I feel like
Look how different we are now, though.
in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta grow up. You know what I mean? Like, could you like if we didn't change, like we'd be fucked right now. Like in every sense of the term, we'd be fucked. But my point is like those times, dude, I wouldn't trade for the world. They were so special, and even if we didn't see it at the time, like even down to, I mean, remember like and it was such a vivid memory of us in Ethan's 8th grade birthday party when we went to Great Lakes Crossing with his dad. We went to
You're gonna
China
bring it
Capital
up.
Arts.
Okay.
Remember we went to China? I think was it China Capital Arts or was it just another Chinese store? I can't remember. I think it was just a similar one maybe. But that's when I bought the folding pocket knife for like $5, and I had
it was a different one because during that time, China Capital Arts was still in just Southland Mall.
okay.
Yeah.
So
They
yeah,
hadn't moved
it was just a
yet.
different version of it. Like somebody like kind of got the idea. But I remember like I had there was that $5 like folding pocket knife I wanted so bad because I was so into weapons at the time. We
Yeah.
all were, but like I was the one making them and shit. But like I wanted it so bad, and I remember Tim, which was Ethan's dad, was like, "Just call your dad and make sure it's okay with him."
Make sure it's
Yeah,
okay.
because he's like, I don't want to get in fucking trouble when you come back home with a fucking knife that you bought.
You see that dot right there? That's still the lead from the pencil crossbow.
Oh fuck, the graphite.
Yeah, the graphite's just stuck there forever.
That's fucking crazy. Yeah, you did. Yeah, I still see the eraser mark on your forearm.
Yeah, here. And then
That shit's crazy.
I got that one too.
Where at?
Right here.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even really notice that one. Even when I was tattooing that hand, I didn't notice it.
No, luckily that one healed up a lot better over
Okay.
time.
That one is broad day. That's crazy.
No, this one looks like I got slashed.
The fact that that's that visible now, and that shit happened in middle school, that's fucked up. That's crazy.
I never backed down. I ain't no punk.
You were the clout chaser for sure. You do anything for clout back then, especially
is
that
true.
dude. That one time when you chugged that 1 liter tea from like the dollar store at lunch,
Bloodshot eyes.
it was Ethan's, but he's like, you can only have this if you chug it, like in its entirety. You cannot stop.
He would do that on a daily. He would have like an extra carton of milk, and he'd be like, "You can only have this if you can chug it." I'm like,
because he knew you would,
easy,
dude.
easy.
I just remember though, because back then a liter was a lot more than now.
Well, we
'Cause
were
we were-
also much tinier.
That's my point though, because like back then a liter was fucking huge. You know, now it's like we could crush a liter in 10 minutes, like if we're just casually sipping if we wanted to, you know. Or, I mean, I've chugged a
Yeah.
liter in one sitting before, just to see if I could. Like, that's just how we
Dude,
are.
We can shotgun beers now.
Well, anyways,
It's a whole different ball game.
dude, that 1 liter tea was like the equivalent of like a 2 liter now, basically. And I just remember I was like, "There's no way you're gonna fucking do this." And then you just casually opened it, cracked it, you just started chugging. And I just remember like vividly, like your eyes being visibly like bloodshot, like / red after, and like watering up from chugging it. And then you just like, I remember like that's like when we had to stand up and go back to class too. So it was like you were like still recovering. Like as soon as you finished it, it was like time to get up and leave the lunchroom. And I just remember like I think we had the same class after, or that, or like you told me after like the next intermission.
You have better memory than I do.
You were talking about you had to like pee so much that next class, and like I was just like I don't know, it was so comical because of how bloodshot and like in pain like it looked like you were in, and then you just had to fucking piss like every 5 minutes for the entire next class.
That's what happens. The body knows that was too much, so now it's just trying to get rid of it.
That's fucking crazy.
Oh, that's funny.
You know what's the one thing I do regret not following through on in middle school in computer class was that typing program. Like to this day, I still can't type without looking.
Oh, looking at the keyboard.
You
Well,
know-
you can always. They have like
Yeah, I know.
sites that you can practice on.
I just don't know if I'm care enough now. I probably should. Something tells me I should.
It's a weird skill. Well, it's not a weird skill.
But when I
it's a
see people-
skill that you will appreciate
Yeah.
not having and wanting, but then once you have it, it's just gonna be any other skill.
You know what's funny is I feel like inferior in the presence of people that can type without looking sometimes. I'm like, holy shit, look at how are they doing that? It actually seems like magic to me.
Actually, it's something similar along those lines, because I can't type without looking either. but you know your the number pad on the side of the keyboard.
Yeah, I can do that. Without
I can do
looking.
that without looking.
Yeah.
Only because when we worked at Planet Fitness and we had to type
Oh,
in numbers
yeah.
all fucking day for different members, different phone numbers, blah blah blah. I had to get good enough to where I didn't have to look at it.
I do remember that. That was a fucking good job. I can't even lie. It didn't pay
No.
good,
It did not pay good.
but I have a lot of good memories.
The hours actually weren't bad either.
No, I mean
the work wasn't
you
bad.
were either 25 or 40.
Yeah.
They either put you at a flat 25 or a flat 40. There was no in between.
We're talking about hours, not pay.
Yeah.
Could you imagine getting a flat 25 or a flat 40 for pay hourly?
No. That'd be crazy as fuck. I remember when I thought
I wouldn't have left.
I thought I was balling out when they paid me $13 an hour to be the trainer. Straight up. Okay, take off that ND filter real quick.
Oh, okay.
It's getting bright. Or it was getting too dark.
Oh, yeah.
Don't mind me here.
Actually, this is a good question for you since you brought up being a personal trainer again.
Okay.
Do you plan to continue doing personal training on the side?
I thought about it today. Specifically today. See? Nothing's coincidence. Also, real quick correction from last podcast. I started off by saying synchronicity, which is the right way to say it.
Mm-hmm.
And then towards the end, I started saying synchronicity. And I was like, damn.
I can't say anything because yeah.
We know how that one goes. But I just wanted to preface and say, like, yeah, okay, I knew what I was saying. And then, well, I was also really high. But
You knew what you meant, but you said what you said.
yeah, I still meant what I said, but I couldn't clip it because I'm like, dude, this sounds stupid. Because it's just one thing. Like, I was like, I had it right. And then I don't know. It's like I got progressively higher, but I didn't through the episode. But anyways, that's a good example of a synchronicity right there. Is the fact that you just asked me that, and I had a serious consideration today of it. Like
Getting back into personal training and like actually pushing for it.
yeah, because, and here's the reason why. Because I put these two, I'll show you right now.
The personal trainer on the go.
Well, it'd be like an
The
online
traveling
thing.
trainer.
It'd be an online thing. Like, I would do online coaching, if anything.
Okay. You could set up meets.
Well, here's
I don't know if
it
you
was
use
when I put
Microsoft
this
Meets.
together is what made me think about it. I was going to post this to my story and say,
Even though you're still good looking on the left side, that picture on the right though.
thank you.
That picture on the right though. You can tell like great looking body, amazing looking body.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. It almost seems like if you showed that to me when I was in middle school, I'd be like, dude, you're lying. There's no way I'm going to look like that.
Let me see your editing software. Where's Photoshop?
That was January 1st to now, by the way.
That's not that long. That's like an amazing transformation for not too long.
Yeah, it's not really 4 months. But my whole point in doing that was like, remember the whole Momentum 90 thing that I wanted to do. So it's like I still succeeded with it, even though I wasn't able to stay 100% on top of every goal that I had. But that, I mean, I've come so far, and that was the whole point. But I was going to post it with the caption on my story, not like a real post. I could do a real post. It wouldn't really matter. But I already had it typed out and everything. Something like, hey, just a friendly reminder as summer approaches, like, I am a certified trainer and have been for 6+ years. And, like, I can help you reach your goals and teach you to be self-sufficient. Just flat out. Like I don't really care. Like, I'm not super, super passionate where I'm like, I need to make this a living. Like, I don't care that. Nobody could ever hit me up again for training, and I really wouldn't care. But I'm very open to taking on a couple of clients where if they're serious, I'll be serious back. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody reaches out to me and says, hey, please, like, I want a meal plan and
I need a workout routine.
yeah, like, please, like, I want to schedule a Zoom call. Like, this is like, let's work out a price for like monthly. I want to do a monthly price, like, for coaching, like online coaching, like weekly check-ins. And the price would include me adjusting everything for all under that one price per month. You know what I'm saying? It's a bit like a subscription in a way, but it can be canceled at any time. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the whole point is that, like, if somebody's serious enough, if they're passionate about it, I will be just as passionate back. I don't want to waste my time. I mean, obviously I want to get paid no matter what, but it's not something I'm so passionate about that I want it to be my purpose, because it's not my purpose, you know. But I have the knowledge and the ability to get people where they want to be, to where they can be the best version of themselves.
Plus, you still love fitness and health.
Yeah, I do.
And this is just another avenue for not only to help yourself with financials or what influential reach. I mean, if it helps one person, then didn't it make it worth it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Like, look at Nate.
yeah, I mean,
You really helped Nate.
look at him. Like, he's gonna be a cop now. And,
Yeah.
I mean, look at how he looks. He wouldn't have been. He wouldn't even been qualified and passed all those physical tests if it weren't for him getting in shape.
No, during his Mustang era.
Yeah, I'll have him tell this story when he comes on.
Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil anything. You guys will see for yourself,
Hey, you
or
could-
hear for
no,
yourself.
you can say whatever you want about it. It's just like me with the story about my dad. Just say it, dude, because guess what? Not everybody's going to make it this far in this podcast, and somebody might not even watch this, but they'll watch the Nate one. So you say whatever
That's
you want.
true.
Say whatever you want. Say his whole story. I don't give a fuck. Say what, you know what I mean?
I'll only say one
yeah,
thing.
say what you want to say about what you know about the story. Because, like,
His perspective is different from ours.
Right. And one more thing I want to add is I'm not afraid to repeat myself now on episodes, because not everybody's going to go back to episode 1.
Yeah.
So if I reiterate,
Some people not even gonna watch the first 5-10 episodes,
Yeah.
but then come in later,
They-
watch episode 32,
yeah, or 60 or 100.
and then they go be like, "Cause I don't know about you, but when I started getting into listening to podcasts or watching podcasts, if it was an already established podcast, let's just say Joe Rogan, because he's like, to me, the most known.
I think he probably is number 1
Yeah.
ever for podcast.
I never went to a video based on I'm going to start at the first video
Mhm.
and then just go down the list.
Yeah.
That's way too much, especially for how established and how long he's been doing it.
Yeah.
I look at the video title of who's on there, what is the subject about, read the description. I'm interested in episode 123. I'm going to watch that one.
Or how many times that you didn't even know an episode existed until a clip went viral on either a TikTok
too.
or even like YouTube clip, and you're like, hey, what episode is this from? And then you look in the description, you see it's like 1,234. Then you go listen to that episode or
Yeah.
watch it on YouTube.
Like, actually, because of Joe Rogan, I know about Burt Kreschner now. I think he's an
Yeah.
hilarious comedian.
You know, I actually knew about him when he did his show on Travel Channel. I actually watched that.
What?
Yeah, I watched that show.
No way.
Only because I watched the Cedar Point episode.
Cedar Point.
He has a Cedar Point episode.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah.
The one I've
We'll
only,
watch it after
Yeah, okay,
after
okay,
the
okay.
episode. It's only like 10.
my favorite thing is still his machine story when he goes to
Yeah.
Russia. That one's still my favorite. But I really like when he talks about his kids, and especially there was this one about his daughter, like getting in trouble at a Christian school for gambling.
Yeah.
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it takes you back to your shooting dice days.
Yeah, shooting dice in math class up against the wall. As soon as the teacher walks out, we'd all huddle, bro.
Yeah, you gotta run. We weren't doing shit.
Hey, I became valedictorian of that high school in 1 year, so
That's fucking crazy.
it's crazy because I didn't try in that school either. I just
Wait, did you ever play on their basketball team? Did I? Is that a wrong memory that I have?
that's a wrong. I played basketball, but it was a traveling league for
Okay.
one of those community centers. You know, the one over on Gibraltar Road right there.
Yeah.
Was that
Yeah.
the Flat Rock Community Center? Woodhaven? No.
Wait,
I forget which one.
The one on Gibraltar Road right by Kroger across the I-75 bridge?
Yes.
That's the Flat Rock Community Center.
Yeah, I used to do a travel league there.
Dude, I forgot about that fucking place. That place is actually nice.
Yeah, it's just hidden.
Dude, I forgot about that place. That was actually the first place I ever worked out at when I was like 12 years old. My dad would take me to that gym there, the one on the second floor. I was like in
Really?
Yeah, I was like in like 6th grade going to that shit. Maybe younger than 12.
Hey, we should go there and just check it out again.
get a day pass real quick,
Yeah.
work out. Just
They got a
fucking-
nice pool. They got a
Yeah.
nice workout area. They got a nice gymnasium.
Yeah, just absolutely mog everybody in that gym up there. Doot, 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 doot. I just go straight shirtless up there. They're
Hey,
just-
skins versus shirts. We're the only ones without shirts.
oh my god, dude. Hey, like the one team's wearing pants, the other's only wearing shirts. Just like in cornhole when I made that joke. I'm just recycling old jokes for the podcast.
That's okay. Hey, if a joke's funny, you can say it 1,000. Hey, if Kevin Hart has taught me anything about comedy, you can repeat the same thing over and over again, but if you just say it loudly, funny.
Dude, I just couldn't even fathom that at a rec center. Just one team only wearing pants and the other team only wearing shirts. Dude, that's fucked.
Here's the question. Undergarments?
No, just straight. Just as nude as the top would be on the other with skins.
But nude as the bottom.
Dude, yeah. That's why it's so funny.
Okay,
Because it
okay.
never happened. I used to fear the day that would happen in gym class though, like the shirts versus skins, because I was so fat. Dude, I remember in the swimming unit, I would like.
I never understood why they allowed that. Why not just
well,
give people like
Well, for boys, it makes sense. You're
red
just
versus
outside,
like
whatever.
red bandanas or yellow bandanas?
School funding. I don't know.
Oh, I forgot. It all went to sports. Basically.
I mean,
it
it
basically went
did.
to football. Come on now.
well, for Carlson, yeah. I don't know. Carlson was very unique. Dude, I was gonna ask you about when I've foreseen this episode with you. I was thinking about things I wanted to ask you about.
Okay, hit me.
I just wanted you to like tell your experience with football in school, like from the earliest memories to like when you stopped and why you stopped.
Okay, yeah. So,
Because I was just very curious, only because I have like a very short experience with high school football.
right, you ended up going into track for much longer.
Well, I'll just state my experience in like one sentence. I fucking thought from middle school to high school that I could just do football with not knowing anything about it, and I was really out of shape. So I did like one summer. I did like probably 2 weeks worth of practices in the summer before school even started in 9th grade. It was too much for me and I quit. Like there was like the very first practice I came home and was like throwing up for like 2 hours and I couldn't stop. And I was like, I couldn't fathom going back the next day. Like it seriously. Oh wait, what did my battery die, dude?
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Getting the camera back and situated.
There we go. I think it the recording ended and then it
Well, we
just
have been
turned
doing
off.
this for an hour now, haven't we?
hour and a half.
Dang.
Yeah, so it makes that's what happened. The video stopped. So yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, there's gonna be a couple instances where the screen goes black. The audio will still be playing, but the screen will just be black, and the video will return.
I think
within
there's only
5-10
going to be
seconds.
one instance of like a short break that's going to be a few seconds for you guys, but like
Yeah.
a minute for us.
Pretty much. Anyways, that was just my story with my experience
Okay.
of high school football.
Well, I started off similarly. I liked football more than you. I was more of a sports person, and I've always been generally athletic, like naturally more athletic. Like you can attest to this, even in middle school. Oh wait, we were in elementary with each other, weren't we?
yeah, we
Yeah.
I wasn't at Parsons for 5th grade. That was it.
That's right. You remember the mile run?
Yeah.
I was fat as fuck, but I still ran, and I still did pretty good.
Dude,
I
gotta
never
say-
came in last.
I gotta say one story about that, about you running in elementary school.
Okay.
There was one time, me and Brad like had a mutual friend or something. I think it might have been Corey or something at the time.
I do remember Corey, yeah.
So all I know is like we were about to go inside.
There
and
was also Ethan during the time.
I don't think we went to the same elementary school as him.
I thought we did.
No, it was just middle school.
Parsons?
No, he wasn't there.
No, you're right. You're right. Never mind.
I promise, because I met him. I think you might have known him in between somehow, because I was sitting with David in 6th grade, and you were sitting with Ethan, and then we decided to merge tables.
That's right.
Remember?
Yeah.
It was like after a week, we were like, dude, like, we're boys. Like, let's sit at the same table. And then us four were like inseparable for that first year.
That's true. Okay, yeah, okay. But continue, please.
I just like exactly what you said. Like just your appearance, you didn't even look like you could run fast. And so I was just like an egomaniac as a kid at times, and I just like looked at Brad and I was like, Yeah, I could just beat him in running back to the fucking school. You know what I mean? Like after recess, I was like, dude, I could beat him for sure. And then you're like, all right, like when the teachers call us in, like we'll race to the door. And I was like, oh, bet? Fucking word.
Easy money.
Yeah, I was like, this is going to be fucking easy, dude. And I remember, like, as we started running, like, maybe around the quarter to halfway mark, you just fucking blew past me. And I literally was just like, what in the actual fuck? I was like, dude. I don't know. It didn't make any sense to me. And I was like, you're fast as fuck, dude.
Hey, because let me put this out there. I was always, like, bigger kid, both around and taller. Because I started getting my growth spurt, like, earlier than most kids.
I would say so. You were literally big.
Yeah, I was
Not just like
I was
body
big around,
fat,
but I was also big,
just
tall,
over in general.
just a bigger kid.
Just in general, you were just bigger than everybody.
Right. So I think that helped, just having both like being bigger in general, but also natural athletic ability.
Just releasing testosterone in elementary school.
I was every other boy in that class was like 5% men. I was that 8% men.
Yeah, you were at least like 30.
Yeah, I was 30.
At least 30%.
Okay, but let me bring it back to football. So I started off with going to their summer camp because in middle school, the coach actually came to me because I was still one of the bigger kids in school, and asked me to go to summer camp to try out for football. So I was being recruited, and I said, all right, I already like football. I'll go and try it. So summer camp rolls around, and, it's that, all right, get on the line, run. Okay, we're going to time you, checking out, getting your stats, see how fast you are, how quick you can run, how's your arm, see if you can throw the ball really well, see if you can take a tackle, see how well you hit, this and that. The only memorable part of that whole summer camp experience or summer camp tryout, they had the high schoolers hold up this tackling dummy. And it was my turn to go and tackle the dummy.
Were you in elementary or middle?
Middle school.
Okay.
I was in middle school. But this was early middle school.
Yeah, I just wanted a reference point because you said the high schoolers were holding them. So I just wanted to think about how old you were and how big you were and whatnot.
Yeah, this is early middle school, like the first or second year of middle school. I can't remember exact date and time. I don't have the best memory, so forgive me. But we had a high schooler holding up the tackle dummy, and the coach told me to go ahead and tackle him. And I remember hearing the high schoolers laugh because I'm still a fat kid. Like, even though I'm bigger, I was still pretty chubby. Laughing about how he ain't going to be able to do anything. Like, they actually were taking bets on whether or not I was flattened. The quarterback was actually holding it. And I started getting angry. Because there's a point that you can laugh at yourself. But when it's from total strangers, and, like, you start getting that embarrassed feeling because these kids are older, and these are the kids that you're like, they know what they're talking about. You kind of look up to them because they're doing something that you want to do. So I got embarrassed, and I started getting angry. And I remember running as hard as I could, hitting the bag, got as low as I possibly could, hit the bag, took him out by his fucking knees, took the bag down with the quarterback, completely flattened both of them.
Was he like fucked up too? Like out of like?
No, he was fucked up.
Did you knock the wind out of him too?
Yeah.
And then what was everybody's reaction?
The rest of the team, well, like, they did the oh! The coach came over and just like pat me on the back and was like, "That was a great fucking tackle." He said that quote for quote, like he swore, because he was just like, "That was a great fucking tackle."
The coaches did, honestly.
Yeah. So that was like the one thing I remembered from going to that little camp. And then of what is it? When did you join? When did they allow football for middle school? Was it 8th grade or was it 9th grade?
I think it was 7th and 8th.
Okay.
I-
So 7th and 8th.
Yeah.
Oh, 9th grade would be high school. My bad.
Yeah. I think it was 7th and 8th.
Okay.
I think it was like 6th grade. You just couldn't unless you were somehow just some like genetic abnormality
You were
where you're just an absolute
you were already
monster.
6 foot.
Yeah, and they're just like, we need this guy. We need this fucking guy.
Yeah, but I do. After that, I joined football, and it's exactly like what you said. You're constantly running. You go to the weight room every day. Felt like fucking torture going to training, and I would go home and I would throw up, and then I would be perfectly fine, and then like a couple hours later, it almost like it re-hit. Like I got that echoed effect, and I would throw up again from that workout. It's honestly, there's not much to talk about. I can just tell you specific moments that I remember. Because football is football. If for anybody who hasn't played football, it's a lot of training, and then you go out and play your game. It either goes really good or really bad. But I guess I'll give you 2 moments, and then how I left football, which I kind of regret. I wish I would have stuck with football. 2 of the moments that really stood out for me in football was we were doing a game against Lincoln Park. And I'm on the line. I was playing offense and defense. I was either a lineman or a fullback, but I was on the line at this time. The Lincoln Park kids, you know how in sports you always trash talk each other. So they were trash talking me, and I was like trying to rev myself up to like overcome that. So I just started like, like guttural roars, screaming, try to pump myself up, and they start laughing. So I bowl through them, and then they trip me, and then they start laughing more and making fun of me. So we set up for the next play. And they pull me from the line and put me into the fullback position because I asked the coach to give me the ball. And he's like, okay, I trust you. I was like, yes, let me do this. I'm getting myself psyched up.
It's your fucking time to shine.
This was like, I was so fucking out of my mind with pure rage that I was like, give me the fucking ball. This is it. I will do my best right fucking now. So they snap it, and it's a toss back to me, and I'm running across the sideline. The kid that tripped me was playing the end zone, and he was coming over because I step off to the left, and then I come out with a wide swing, and he's coming towards me. I remember stiff arming him as hard as I fucking could. And we were at the 10. I got us all the way down to the 10 on their side. So I ran, what is that, 90 yards? Or
you started where?
I started near the 10 on our side.
Oh, and then to the 10 on them.
And then to the 10 on their side.
Like 80.
80, okay. Yeah, because the 100 for the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't remember this until I talked to my dad about it later.
Did he see it?
Yeah, my
Okay.
family were there
Okay.
watching the game. He said he was going to the bathroom, and when he came out of the porta-john, he just specifically remembers me running in front of him, going down the sideline, having 3 kids on my back while still fucking running.
How did you end up going down at the 10?
Eventually a 4th guy got me by the legs.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, you fueled by fucking adrenaline and rage. I mean,
Yeah,
People
but I
literally like move cars off of burning fucking people. You know what I'm saying?
you know, like that mom strength.
Yeah.
Like they always tell stories about how a mom was able to lift up a car to get her baby underneath.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But in this case, just pure fucking rage and adrenaline.
No, that's really what it is. And then as soon as I got that fucking far, they ended up second play. They just passed it to me. I shot up the middle. We got a touchdown.
Hell yeah.
We ended up winning that game. But I remember and that was the moment for me because you get so emotional. Doesn't matter what kind of emotion, in this case, rage. I was so goddamn emotional because these kids were basically just making fun of me for just, hyping myself up. And I won't forget that moment. I just remember I had to do it, so I did it.
Yeah. What was that other one? You said there was another one?
Yeah, I told you, not the best memory, so I'm thinking.
It's okay.
It's
It's okay if there's a fucking pause.
Yeah. The second one I was playing fullback again.
Same time period or further in the future?
Further in the future, different game altogether.
Okay. High school, middle school. What was the last year you played?
Last year I played was the first year of high school.
So 9th grade.
So 9th grade was the last year I played.
Okay. Carlson, right?
Yeah.
Were you at the practices that I was at? Or did you stop before then?
No, I played like one season.
I don't remember you at the practices.
You played for high school?
I was at the practices in the summer for before 9th grade.
No.
Before the 9th grade started that year, the school year, I was like doing the summer workouts with them. But I don't know if those were mandatory, so I don't know if you just weren't at the summer workout. I don't know anything about that shit. You know what I mean? I just don't remember seeing you there, or else you and I would have at least been together. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I had nobody. Like I didn't know. I mean, I knew Riley, but he was such a star that dude.
Maybe I never played for high school then. Maybe I did stop just before high school.
Probably then. Because
I know at least for middle school that the summer workouts were mandatory.
Okay. Yeah, well, I don't know. That's what I was asking. So it was probably like 8th grade then was your last year?
Yeah, 8th grade must have been the last year. I always thought I played like 1 year in high school, but it must have been the last year of middle school that I stopped playing.
Yeah.
But the second one, this one is nothing special. When I was playing fullback.
Special to you.
It's special to me because this was my one and only time that I got to throw a pass. So they pitched it back to me, and instead of me running, I actually dip back off to the right.
Yeah.
And I go for like a Hail Mary pass. And it actually worked. Like, I don't have a good arm. There was a reason why I wasn't quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't have a good arm. I just have a strong arm. Like when we used to play baseball, just playing catch or anything.
Yeah. And I remember you could fucking.
I can whip a ball, but I had no accuracy.
Throw a football over the mountains.
Yeah. So we did that. We got a touchdown out of it. Those were like the two most memorable things.
Wait, so you were acting as quarterback in the play? Or can anybody throw it? See, I don't know shit about
anybody
football.
Can throw it.
I'm
going to make sure I get this right because football fans will destroy us.
I can tell you right now, my audience is not going to be.
As long as you're doing a lateral throw where it's going behind you.
Yeah, I know that. But you can't just
that
huck it forward.
Can then throw it.
You can?
I think just as long as you don't pass the line of scrimmage, then you can throw it.
Because I know as long as you pass the line of scrimmage, you can always toss it back.
That, yes. You can,
no matter
you can
where
always
you're
toss
at.
it back.
But you can't toss it forward.
You can't toss it forward. But if you're behind the line of scrimmage or you never pass it, then whoever has it can still throw it as if.
So you
did
that. You did that. You weren't the quarterback, but you threw it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a trick play. So the QB gets it. He pretends to hand it off to me. Starts running. They start seeing that he still has the ball. He did a lateral throw back to me, and because they all just got pulled away, we had our we had our guys go long so that I was able to just huck it and hope for the best.
And you can say you got a touchdown.
And we got a touchdown out of it.
Okay.
It was the one and only play I got to throw a football in game.
And it paid off though.
Yeah, it paid off. And then the reason why I stopped going is that's when my depression started, and I stopped caring about everything. I always questioned, why am I playing football? Why am I doing this? Why do I have to do that? So I stopped. I know that sounds so anticlimactic, but
It's the truth.
that's the truth. I
That's
got
how things
so
are.
worked into myself. I got so like enveloped in my own emotions and feelings. And eventually it was just like, even though I still wanted to play football, I wish I would have stayed playing football. Maybe it actually would have helped me not be as depressed.
You never
because
know.
I was forced to continue to do something.
Yeah, but sometimes you're so fucked up that being forced to do something makes your shit worse, though.
That's true.
So I just feel like there's no telling, and I think that I feel like you're on your path that you were meant to be on anyways. I feel like everything happened how it was supposed to happen, and
Well,
I mean, look where you're at now, would you change anything, because it led you to who you are now and where you're at now, and you know what I mean? Other than some certain things like
that's very hard to say. Like, obviously I could say yes, I want to change this and this because it should be better. But that's not always the case,
Yeah.
And then let's say I did stick with football. What if me and you never stayed friends because I just became a jock?
That's what I mean though. You never know. Like that you just have to
And
trust.
I wouldn't give you up to go and be friends with some of those guys.
I appreciate
No offense
that.
to those guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like there are things that I wish I could change, but I'm glad they are just the way they are because I like who's in my life. Maybe not exactly how my life is going, but that's not because of the past. That's because of not doing the things that I want to do or have to do and not taking that first step and always getting in my own way. So that I can't say the past is the reason why I'm this. I mean, to an extent you can if you talk to a therapist. There's like triggers and blah, blah, blah. We don't have to get too technical or deep into that. But I think a lot of my personal issues is just I'm my worst enemy. And that's
Yeah.
it.
As we all are at the end of the day. But I'm gonna end this episode now.
This is your longest episode yet?
So far, yeah. And next time, obviously, we're going to do multiple episodes. We're going to do countless together where I have you on. You're going to be like...
Anytime I'm available and you will have me, I will be here.
Kind of like how Joe Rogan always has his guests come back and back and back. His
Repeating.
best friends are always on.
Like how I mentioned Bert Kreschner. I only
Yeah.
learned because of Joe Rogan.
Yeah, and he
because
keeps
he's a
coming on.
repeat.
Next time you're on, though, I really want to get into... Even if it's an episode solely based on weed, but like... I really want to talk
Our
about
smoking days.
Yeah, I really want to just go really deep dive, unlock some memories that you and I both don't even remember. But like talking about it will bring them up.
Oh,
Just like
God.
the clown steamroller in your room and your mom having to drive me home, like shit like that.
I was fine. I could have done it.
Yeah, but it was still.
I mean, I got us to that movie theaters the one time.
That's just but it's just stuff like that, right? I want to really take a deep dive, and then like my first time ever smoking because of you and the oregano.
The oregano.
Yeah,
Giving Austin oregano.
yeah. You guys,
Even though
fucked
he
me up.
smoked more than
Yeah.
both of us, and he still smoked it.
No, I think he was in on it. You guys were in on it. You guys both clowned me.
That was a different time.
Oh.
I also got Austin a separate time.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
I think I remember that. No, you and I both did that. We put oregano in a joint. We rolled up a joint.
Yup.
An oregano one.
It was a
And
terrible looking joint,
And
by the
I
way.
got it on video. It's on my old iPad somewhere. We got him smoking it. Remember he was holding it and I threw the balloon at it? And it fucking... Remember the video?
No.
I have a...
I
dude.
like no. The memory's there, but not all the pieces. You know what I mean?
Dude, if I could... I'm going to like plug in my old iPad. So
Bring out
hopefully it
the
charges.
Because you still have a lot of old videos.
Yeah, but they're on like my old devices that haven't
Pull
been
it out.
I gotta try. But
Blow
dude,
it
he
out.
was literally holding it, and he was like high as fuck, and he was like, "This ain't."
I do remember you throwing the because you wanted to check his reaction, and it was just like,
Oh, actually, my bad. It wasn't even the oregano joint. That was his birthday joint. That was a real joint that I hit. His dad gave him a real joint for his
But we-
birthday, and we were all gonna smoke it, and I just fucking boom. I don't know why. That's just how I was back then.
I see. I
It's
still
the-
remember giving him an oregano
yeah,
joint.
we did.
though.
That was just a separate time. I forgot.
But now you're mixing
and he
memories.
smoked. Yeah, he smoked it, and he was just like, "This doesn't taste that good." But we were like, "Dude, this is loud." Like we were like, "Dude,
Loud.
please, dude,
Just-
smoke this. You get high as fuck."
I promise you. You just gotta smoke it. It hits in a minute.
Yeah, and then we just kept it going until he's like, "Dude, this isn't weed." And we're like, "Yeah, it's fucking oregano, bitch. Fuck you." Ah.
You just got spiced.
Anyways, that is the end of episode 3. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna plug any of Brad's socials in the descriptions. Whatever he ends up telling me to plug, I'll plug it.
You can plug all of them. I'm not very active, but if people message me, I'm pretty good about just talking to people online for no reason.
I'll plug the gram.
Yeah, there you go. Plug the
And then
gram.
once you get the YouTube channel started, I'll start plugging that.
All right, that sounds good.
All right, well, it's been real.
I'll feed off of you, and then when I get big out, you can feed off me.
It works.
Hey, we'll just start our own little organization.
Dude, it's like the friend group thing. It's like people are gonna like you more than me, and people are gonna like me more than you. Like, we're gonna have our own fans, and they're gonna like to see us together.
Yeah, I think people are gonna just like you more in general because you got a sexy body. And I'm still working on mine.
But that's not even true though. There's no way that's true. There's no way that. I mean, I guess like sex sells, but
I mean, there's a reason.
yeah, but believe it or not, you can be as good looking as you want, but if you're funny as fuck, people are gonna prefer that. Let's be honest. Depending on how far down the path of sin somebody's went, if they're just a lustful motherfucker, they're gonna be like, well, this guy looks better, so I have to like him better. But then the people who aren't like plagued and have a crippling porn addiction, they're gonna be like, I like the funny guy. He's way more entertaining.
The crippling. It's so severe. Your hand is permanently cramped in a position.
I'm gonna clip that one. All right, it's been real.
Peace
See you on the next one. Peace out.